This is Icon Radio.
Hello.
And the winner is MC Hammer.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. My music hits me so hard, makes me say, oh my Lord, thank you for blessing me. What am I to rhyme and to hype me? It feels good when you know you're down. A super dope homeboy from the Oak Town, and I'm known as such. And this is a beat you can't touch. I told you, homeboy, you can't touch this. Yeah, that's how we living, and you know you can't touch this. Look in my eyes, man, you can't touch this. Yo, let me bust the funky lyrics. Fresh new kicks and bands, you got it like that. Now you know you wanna dance, so move out of your seat and get a fire girl and catch this beat while it's rolling. the bell, school is in, sucker. You can't touch this. Give me a song, a rhythm, making them sweat. That's what I'm giving them now. They know. You talk about the hammer, you're talking about a show that's hot and tight. Singles are sweating so fast, them a whiteboard tape. To learn what's it gonna take in the 90s to burn the charts. Legit. Either work hard or you might as well quit. That's word because you know you can't touch this. You can't touch this. Break it down. Stop. Hammer time. Go with the flow. It is said if you can't groove the list, then you probably are dead. So wave your hands in the air. Bust a few moves. Run your fingers through your hair. This is it. For a winner, dance to this, and you're gonna get there. The move, slide your rump. Just for a minute, let's all do the bump. Bump, bump, bump. Yeah. You can't touch this. Look, man, you can't touch this. You better get a hype, boy, cause you know you can't touch this. Ring the bell, school's back in. Break it down. Stop. Hammer time. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. Break it down. Stop. Hammer time. Every time you see me, the hammer's just so hype. I'm dope on the floor and I'm magic on the mic. Now why would I ever stop doing this with others making records that just don't hit? I tour around the world from London to the Bay. It's hammer go, hammer empty, hammer yo, hammer, and the rest can go and play. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. Yeah. You can't touch this. I told you. You can't touch this. Too high, you can't touch this. Yeah, we out of here. You can't touch this.
Yeah, this album is dedicated to all the teachers that told me I never amount to nothing. To all the people that lived above the buildings that I was hustling from that called the police on me when I was just trying to make some money to feed my daughter.
Yeah.
And to all my peoples in the struggle, you know what I'm saying? It's all good, baby.
Shake it.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine. Hanging pictures on my wall. Every Saturday, rap attack, Mr. Magic Molly Mall. I let my tape rock till my tape pop. Smoking the bamboo, sipping on private stock. Way back when I had the red and black lumberjack with the hat to match. Remember rapping Duke? The hard. You never thought that hip hop would take it this far. Now I'm in the limelight cause I rhyme tight. Time to get paid, blow up like the world trade. Born sinner, the opposite of a winner. Remember when I used to eat sardines for dinner? Peace to Ron G, Brucey B, Kid Capri. Funk Master Flex, Love Bug, Star Ski. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. Call a crib, same number, same hood. It's all good. And if you don't know, now you know. I made this change from a common thief to up close and personal with Robin Leach. And I'm far from cheap. I smoke skunk with my peeps all day. Spread love, it's the Brooklyn way. The Moet and Alizé keep me pissy. Girls used to diss me, now they write letters cause they miss me. I never thought it could happen, this rapping stuff. I was too used to packing gats and stuff. Now honeys play me close like butter play toast. From the Mississippi down to the East Coast, condos in Queens for weeks. Sold out seats to hear Biggie Small speak. Living life without fear, putting 5 carats in my baby girl ear. Lunches, brunches, interviews by the fool. Considered a fool cause I dropped out of high school. Stereotypes of a black male misunderstood. And it's still all good, And if you don't know, now you know, you know, you know. Sega Genesis. When I was dead broke, man, I couldn't picture this. 50-inch screen, money green leather sofa. Got 2 rides, a limousine with the chauffeur. Phone bill about 2 G's flat. No need to worry, my accountant handles that. And my whole crew is lounging, celebrating every day, no more public housing. Thinking back on my one-room shack. Now my mom pimps an act with minks on her back. And she loves to show me off, of course. Smiles every time my face is up in the sauce. We used to fuss when the landlord dissed us. No heat, wonder why Christmas missed us. Birthdays was the worst days. Now we sip champagne when we thirsty. Damn right, I like the life I live. Cause I went from negative to positive and it's all good. And if you don't know, now you know, you know, you know. And if you don't know, now you know, you know, you know. And if you don't know, now you know, you know, you know. Let the beat down in the house. Junior Mafia, Laugh Flavor.
I see you,
Yeah.
You don't know, now you know. Good evening. Good evening. This is Money Mondays. Karibu sana. My name is Ezekiel Olande. You're just listening to, and if you don't know, now you know. And today we're having a very wonderful show, and we are happy to have you with us. With me in studio is an amazing woman called Bina Maseno. Bina is the founder of Badili Africa. And Bina, I just want you to salimia your people. Tell us just a couple of, in 1 minute or so, or 1 second, about you and what you do, and then we'll proceed. Karibu sana.
I thank you so much for having me at Icon Radio. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Bina Maseno, Executive Director and Team Leader at Badili Africa.
Okay.
Also former political aspirant and Miss President Nairobi County from the Miss President campaign in 2022.
Yes.
And at Badili Africa, we cultivate the leadership and political engagement of grassroots women who organize in chamas, Nyumba Kumi, women guilds, and also the leadership and political engagement of young women in learning institutions and informal and rural settlements. And also very big on ending gender-based violence as a very, very key deterrent to women and girls participating actively in leadership spaces.
Leadership and politics.
Yes.
Wonderful. Karibu sana. We are looking forward to a great conversation with you. Bina is here with us for the next 2 hours, and we're going to be discussing a lot of things around women in leadership, political engagement for women, and also economic empowerment for women as well, from the grassroots level all the way to the top. So for now, karibuni sana. Let us continue listening to a bit of music, then we'll come back, talk a bit about what's been going on in the day before we get into the meat of the conversation. This is Money Mondays.
Icon Radio.
Don't sweat the technique. technique. Let's trace the hits and check the file. Let's see who bit the dissect the style. I flip the script so they can't get filed. At least not now, it'll take a while. I change the pace to complete the beat. I drop the bass to MCs get weak. For every word they trace is a scar they keep. Cause when I speak, they freak to sweat the technique. I made my debut in 86 with a melody in the president's mix. And now I stay on target and refuse to miss. And I still make hits for beats. Parties, clubs, and cars and jeeps. My underground sound vibrates the streets. MCs wanna beef, then I play for keeps. When they sweat the technique. Don't sweat the technique. They wanna know how many bombs have I ripped and wrecked, but researchers never found all the pieces yet. Scientists try to solve the context. Philosophers are wondering what's next. Pieces took the lab to observe them. They couldn't absorb them. They didn't deserve them. My ideas are only for the audience ears. For my opponents, it might take years. Pencils, pens, and swords. Let us put together from a key to cause. I'm also a sculpture, born with structure. Because of my culture, I'm a rhythm instructor. Technical style that'll be full of technology, complete sights and new heights after I get deep. You don't have to speak, just see and peep the technique. But don't sweat the technique. I speak indiscreet, cause talking cheap. Then I get deep in the beat, think complete. Bold with the Z, never weak or obsolete. They never grow old. Techniques become antique. Better than something brand new, cause it's original. In the wild style, I have much more value. Classical, too intelligent to be radical. Masterful, never irrelevant, mathematical. Here's some souvenirs for all the years. You fought, you sought the thoughts and ideas. It's cool when you freak to the beat. But don't sweat the technique. Don't sweat the technique. Don't sweat the technique.
Can't get enough of you, of you, of you, of you. When I see your body move, my whole world moves around you. You got this thing about you. I can't get enough of you, of you, of you, of you. I can't get enough of you. drowning. I'm drowning in your eyes, and I can't let go. When it's 2 a.m. on a Sunday night, and I find myself searching for your eyes. The lights are out and the music's loud. You bring the silence to my mind, and I'm gonna catch you right in. Don't let go of my hand, on my hand. Can't get enough of you, of you, of you, of you. When I see your body move, the whole world moves around you. You got these think about it. I can't get enough of you, of you, of you, of you. Can't get enough of you.
Karibu sana to Money Mondays with me, Ezekiel Olande. Today we have a wonderful guest with us today, just coming to talk about women in leadership. And Bina, thank you so much for taking time to be here with us. And so as we start our conversation, we're just going to see what's been happening in the news. And one of the biggest news items has been Starlink. Starlink has hit the market, and it's hit the ground running. And they're shaking the internet space because they've come up with very affordable internet connection costs. And I know the competitors in the market are really freaking out. Oh, menunua Starlink.
Bado sijanunua Starlink, but
Okay.
I've been considering, it because as a social entrepreneur,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you're looking at competitive packages,
Yeah.
because you're spending a lot across even your whole team. You see, so I think competition is good, but let's see how that settles in, because I know, like you said, Safaricom, Airtel, there's been a bit of friction,
Yes,
because
yes.
everyone is talking about Starlink,
Yeah.
everyone is talking about speed, everyone is talking about affordability.
Yeah.
And if you look at where we are at in this country,
Yeah.
affordability is very, very key,
It's key
to many people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as entrepreneurs or people in business, this becomes a very big deal.
Yes.
Because it then reduces your overall cost. You have very good connectivity. You can connect anywhere. I have seen people on the mtandao, mtu ameweka kwa pickup and is driving, and someone is doing the speed test as they're moving, and you can actually see the speed, so you can take it with you up country, places where this has not been accessible in the past. You can get very good internet speeds. So for me, I think it is a game changer, but it is also a wake-up call. I do believe that, yes, as far as the government is concerned, they need to protect the local industry. But where is the balance? That is the question in my head. Where is the balance between affordability and bringing in other people as well, and protecting people from external people from coming in, so just my thoughts.
I think it also, I think it was also the same scenario when you talk about taxis and Uber.
Yes.
When you talk about the hospitality industry and
Exactly,
Airbnb, you see what I mean?
exactly,
Because
exactly,
now
yeah.
you're looking at affordability
Yes.
of Airbnb wherever you go. Yet
exactly.
you also have the mainstream hotels.
Yeah.
You're also looking at the mainstream taxis. Then you're looking at Uber coming into the
Yes,
market,
and disrupting that space.
and just disrupting that particular space.
Yeah.
But I agree with you in terms of even government regulations.
Yes.
To protect also Kenyans.
The local players.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the local
yeah.
players as well. Yeah.
And thank you. I like where you've gotten into, because it's all about innovation. They say innovate or die. you know, and that is exactly what happened. We were used to ukitaka taxi, you have to know a guy.
Yes.
If you don't know that guy, you have to walk.
That's it.
And they were in specific places. Then
the taxi bay.
Yeah, exactly. That came again with the Airbnb, as you've said. Again, you know, has really dropped. So nowadays people can travel and move to different places affordably. You get a kind of home-ish environment away from home, and you then get to enjoy your stay without having to go to those expensive hotels. So yeah, innovate. If you don't innovate, you will find yourself in problems, and this is just a challenge to the likes of Safaricom or other internet service providers that I think Elon Musk and Starlink are here to stay. So make sure that you get your act together, innovate to drop costs. We will be there. All right. We are continuing our conversations with Bina Maseno from Badili, Africa, and we are going to continue shortly just after a couple of music intervals, and then we'll get into our conversation. So Bina, sit back, relax, enjoy the music.
Thank you.
DJ, back to you.
I had a lover, she was my friend, but there was one night that I'll never forget. One day she left me, a diving regret. Now I'm alive if my man is halfway dead. She's a heartbreak, now I need Candyman, Candyman. He's so hot but he is still Candyman. She's a heartbreak, now I need Candyman, Candyman. He's so hot but he is still Candyman. Who's gonna love me when I'm a mess? If I can make up my mind and I can choose one thing, they fall in love but they get bored really fast. Promise you'll be my last mistake, so let's get down to that. She's a heartbreak, now I need Candyman, Candyman. He's so hot but he is still Candyman. She's a heartbreak, now I need Candyman, Candyman. He's so hot but he is still Candyman. He's a heartbreak, now I need Candyman, Candyman. He's so hot but he is still Candyman. She's a heartbreak, now I need Candyman, Candyman. He's so hot but he is still Candyman.
Icon Radio.
I had a lover, she was my friend, but there was one night that I'll never forget. One day she left me, a diving regret. Now I'm alive if my man is halfway dead. She's a heartbreak, now I need
really getting married.
We've been lost on our way, 'cause the stars don't seem aligned. But we found something beautiful in absence of the light. We gon' make it under the moonlight, and it's taking us to a new life. We were flying up to escape, but went a little bit too high. Then we fell down from the sky. We're crashing out of heaven. Our time slipped away. Now we stay up through the night. We're dancing with the devil. Our time slipped again. Then we fell down from the sky. We're crashing out of heaven. Our time slipped away. Now we stay up through the night. We're dancing with the devil. Our time slipped again. Landed in this meadow place. It's more than meets the eye. We're washed up souls, all unite, trapped and intertwined. We gon' make it under the moonlight, and it's taking us to a new life. We were flying up to escape, but went a little bit too high. Then we fell down from the sky. We're crashing out of heaven. Our time slipped away. Now we stay up through the night. We're dancing with the devil. Our time slipped again. Then we fell down from the sky. We're crashing out of heaven. Our time slipped away. Now we stay up through the night. We're dancing with the devil. Our time slipped
I miss the way we make up. Been way too long now since I felt your lips. I don't know when we lost it. I hope we still have something we can fix. 'Cause we were something real special. Somehow we messed it all up. Yeah, I don't know how we got here, but I started thinking. 'Cause if we could learn again, we wouldn't have to think about the end. If we could learn again, fuck it and just forget the things we said. I'll take back the word that I gave you. I don't want to miss it all. If we could learn again, we wouldn't have to think about the end. I wish that I could wake up and you would still be lying.
You're listening to Mira with Love Again, and we're just thinking today our DJ is having
I think
those.
she's ready to love again.
She's having those feels.
Yeah, I think she's ready to love again. She's like,
So
you know what?
we see you. We see you.
I am no longer afraid of old pain.
Yes.
So I'm ready to love again because people are different, I think.
Well, so if you know our DJ, just know, as my guest has said, she's ready. She's ready.
Yes. And we are here for it.
Oh yeah.
We're here for it.
100%.
Yeah.
You're listening to Money Mondays on Icon Radio with me, Ezekiel Olande, and my guest, Bina Maseno, who is the executive director of Badili Africa. So, Bina, before we start getting into, the deep things, I have a couple of questions that I want to ask you, and this is a quick fire round. So, unajibu as they come. So, question 1: if you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be and why?
If I could have dinner with any historical figure, do they have to be alive?
Whichever.
I think Thomas Sankara.
Oh wow.
Yeah. If I could have dinner, it would be
Good choice.
Thomas Sankara. I admire, his Pan-African thoughts. The ideas he had for social change.
Yeah.
The ideas he had for unity, African unity towards advancing our aspirations as African.
Yeah.
So I think it would be Thomas Sankara.
Yeah.
Or Steve Biko.
Okay.
Sadly, they are resting in power.
In power for sure.
Yeah, but for those alive, I admire. Okay, but this is someone I've always admired, and I get to meet up with them. But I always appreciate having conversations with Mildred Ngasa.
Okay.
She's a transformational leader who will literally transform how you think about so many things. I not just work, but life. She likes talking to the soul of leadership. When you think about leadership, the soul of leadership. So I could have 1,000 dinners with Mildred Ngasa. Yeah.
Amazing. What's the one book that you think everyone should read at least once?
I think currently as a social entrepreneur, I'm reading How Boards Work by Dambisa Moyo, and that was recommended to me and actually given to me by my board chair, Nirima Wako.
Very nice.
And I think it's because for my current board, we began with them when when Badili was just an idea.
Yes.
You see, up until where we find ourselves. And I think even before the board thinks about transitioning, they're how do we ensure that as Bina, you understand the importance of an effective board. Absolutely. How to engage with the board, so that by the time you're having another new board come in, you've thought through all these aspects, because we began with Badili, but we'll be transitioning, right?
Exactly.
Badili is not where it was when we were joining the board. So it's been quite an interesting read. So
nice.
For any social entrepreneur, I think I would recommend for them to read How Boards Work by Dambisa Moyo.
So the board is transitioning from the founder.
From their term.
Oh, okay.
They've served 2 terms. They've served 2 terms. So
good stuff.
Very soon we'll be transitioning to a new board in 2025.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. Let me see if I have one last question. If you weren't, in politics and leadership, what career do you think you'd be in?
If I wasn't in politics and leadership, what career would I be in? I think music. Music.
Okay.
Yeah, I think music and dance.
Oh, wow.
Not that I'm a good dancer. I'm trying. Not that I'm a good dancer. But I think music. I look at how also music just brings us together.
Yes.
Carries us through so many moments. I remember during COVID, just the power of music, even just during COVID. And we gather a lot even in social events, just the impact of music in our lives. there are moments I just listen to music and I just love reflecting with some gospel pieces that I listen to.
Yeah.
I love jazz, R&B. You
Okay.
see, even what our DJ was listening to, Love Again. You know, if you're heartbroken,
Yeah.
you know, you're looking for all the playlists.
Yes,
you know,
that will just take you there.
yeah, that
exactly.
you know. So
yeah.
So I think music.
Music.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Our previous guest was actually also a musician, and
Uh-huh.
so I'm seeing a theme here.
Uh-huh.
We're just having. So yeah, for those who want to come to the show, make sure you know how to sing, or at least you can play an instrument.
What about
Then,
you? Like, if
so-
you're to have dinner, who do you have dinner with?
For me, no, you know, you give such a deep answer. Me in my mind, I was like Tupac and Biggie because I mean those guys were musical geniuses, way ahead of their
Tupac,
time.
yeah. Oh my God.
And
yes.
I would
yes.
just like to understand how at that age your mind was working that well
Yeah.
to perceive and conceive that, you know, this music is supposed to outlive me, and
Oh
write
my God,
so
yeah.
much, record so much that, you know, way after his death we were still getting new songs that were coming up.
Imagine.
You know, so for me those two, and also just asking, rivalry ni ya nini?
Yeah.
Why can't we just kumbaya and
I know.
yeah,
I
because
know.
they really I think built that music industry, the hip hop music industry,
Imagine. Yeah, I agree.
globally as well. So those two definitely would be on my list.
Yeah, and I remember growing up,
Yeah.
like even your symbol of activism when it comes to music was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a Tupac, the
Mhm.
bandana
The
thing,
bandana,
you
or
know,
your West Side, East Side,
you
all
know,
those things.
yeah,
Like,
you know.
those guys
No, I
were
agree. That's
way
profound.
ahead.
They're really way ahead of
Yeah,
their time.
yeah.
You know, yeah.
So good stuff. Thank you so much. Allow me to segue now into Badili Africa.
Yes.
And just quickly ask you. So you already shared a bit about what Badili does, but I wanted to ask you, what's the vision behind Badili Africa? Yeah, and what do you guys focus on?
So, number one, we are very keen on inclusive politics.
Okay.
And increasing the representation of women and girls
Yeah.
in public affairs
Yeah.
matters, right? Because it has an impact across social, political, and economic spheres in
Yeah.
this country,
Yeah.
right? And also on ending gender-based violence, because it has an impact also
Exactly.
on how you show up at work.
Yeah.
It has an impact on whether you're going to finish school or not, right? So I think our main focus currently is to ensure that we have a better representation in politics, because right now it's pretty low.
Okay.
And when I say pretty low, is we're talking about 24% representation of women in public office in this country, even compared to our East African neighbors at 35%. You can imagine. And of course, Rwanda leading at 62%.
Okay.
And we have remained at 24% for quite a while.
That's a low number.
You know, and sadly,
Yeah.
young women represent less than 1%.
Wow.
Young people
Yeah.
represent generally now young men and young women less than 5%.
In a country whose median age is 19.2.
In a country whose median age is 19.
That is appalling. Yes. That's
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So your work is now to try and create that ecosystem where women are able to then participate gainfully,
meaningfully
in leadership and in politics.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I like what I'm hearing, and we're just gonna pause it right there. Get back into the music, but remember, you're on Icon Radio. This is Money Mondays. Hit us up on IG, on Facebook, on Twitter, everywhere, on WhatsApp. If you have any questions for my wonderful guest, Miss Maseno, and you also have to tell us about Miss President, but we'll come back to that. If you have any questions for our guest, or just want to find out any information about her organization, Badili Africa, please feel free to hit us up. We'll be able to reach out and give you, the answers that you're looking for. Asante.
Thank you.
What's the difference between me and you? What's the difference between me and you?
back when Q was rolling with Lorenzo in a Benzo. I was banging with a gang of instrumentals. Got the pens and pencils, got down to business. But sometimes the business end of it can turn your friends against you. But you was a real, I could sense it in you. I still remember the window of the car that you went through. But I'll never forget what you've been through. And I'ma do whatever it takes to convince you. Cause you might die, and easy, I'm still with you. I miss you, and that's just being real with you. You see, the truth is, everybody wanna know how close me and Snoop is, and who I'm still cool with. Then I got these fake I first flew with, claiming they non-violent, talking like they spit venom in interviews, speaking on reunions, move units, then talk. We can do this. Until then, I ain't even speaking your name. Just keep my name out of your mouth, and we can keep it the same. It ain't that I'm too big to listen to the rumors. It's just that I'm too damn big to pay attention to them. That's the difference.
What's the difference between me and you? You talk a good one, but you don't do what you're supposed to do. I act on what I feel and never dare with emotions. I'm used to living big dog style with straight coaches. What's the difference between me and you? You talk a good one, but you don't do what you're supposed to do. I act on what I feel and never dare with emotions. I'm used to living big dog style with straight coaches.
Yo, I stay with it while you try to perpetrate, play with it. Never knew about the next level until Dre did it. I stay committed while you babies. I smash the critics like an overhand right from Riddick. Come and get it on villains by the millions. I be catching feelings. So what the am I supposed to do? I pop bottles and hot hollow points at each and all of you. Come on, heartless, high and plastic. My style is like the reaction from too much acid. Never come down, pass it around. You can't handle it. Hang Hollywood by they soul train laminates. What's the difference between me and you? About 5 bank accounts, 3 ounces and 2 vehicles. Until my death, I'm Bangladesh. I suggest you hold your breath till ain't nothing left. Yo, that's the difference.
What's the difference between me and you? You talk a good one, but you don't do what you're supposed to do. I act on what I feel and never dare with emotions. I'm used to living big dog style with straight coaches. What's the difference between me and you? You talk a good one, but you don't do what you're supposed to do. I act on what I feel and never dare with emotions. I'm used to living big dog style.
Alright, hold up. Stop the beat a minute. I got something to say. Dre, I wanna tell you this right now. I don't know if I ever told you this, but I love you, dog. I got your back.
Right.
Just know this.
Slim, I don't know if you noticed it, but I've had your back from day one. Let's blow this.
I mean it, dog. You ever need somebody off? Who's is it?
Well, if you ever with that Kim, I'll show you where the ocean is.
Well, that's cool, and I appreciate the offer. But if I do decide to really my daughter's mama, I'ma sit her up in the front seat and put sunglasses on her and cruise around with her for 7 hours through California and have her waving at people. Then drop her off on the corner at the police station and drive off honking the horn for her. Raw dog, get your arm gnawed off. Drop the sword off and beat you with the piece of a sword off of. Blood, I wanna see some coughed up. Get up in the hot tub till the bubbles pop up and they know the cork's not up. Mucus and hot water. That's for trying to talk like the chronic was lost product. That's for even thinking of having them thoughts thought up. You better show some respect whenever the doc's brought up. So what's the difference between us? We can start at the or we can scream, I just don't give a and see who means it.
What's the difference between me and you? You talk a good one, but you don't do what you're supposed to do. I act on what I feel and never dare with emotions. I'm used to living big dog style with straight coaches. What's the difference between me and you? You talk a good one, but you don't do what you're supposed to do. I act on what I feel and never dare with emotions. I'm used to living big dog style with straight coaches. What's the difference between me and you?
I
see no changes. Wake up in the morning and I ask myself, is life worth living? Should I blast myself? I'm tired of being poor and even worse, I'm black. My stomach hurts, so I'm looking for a purse to snatch. Cops give a damn about a Negro. Pull a trigger, kill him, he's a hero. Get it to the kids who the hell cares. One less hungry mouth on the welfare. First ship them, don't let them deal with brothers. Give them guns, step back, watch them kill each other. It's time to fight back, that's what Huey said. 2 shots in the dark, now Huey's dead. I got love for my brothers, but we can never go nowhere unless we share with each other. We gotta start making changes. Learn to see me as a brother instead of 2 this. One better place, let's erase the wasted. Take the evil out the people, they'll be acting right. Cause both black and white and smoke tonight. And the only time we chill is when we kill each other. It takes skill to be real time to heal each other. And although it seems evident, we ain't ready to see a black president. It ain't a secret, don't conceal the fact. The penitentiary's packed and it's filled with blacks. But some things will never change. Try to show another way, but it's staying in the dope game. Now tell me what's a mother to do. Being real don't appeal to the brother in you. You gotta operate the easy way.
I made a G today.
But you made it in a sleazy way. Sell it back to the kid.
I gotta get paid.
Well, hey, well, that's the way it is.
Come on, come on.
That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. That's just the way it is. Oh yeah. That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. That's just the way it is. Oh yeah.
We gotta make a change. It's time for us as a people to start making some changes. Let's change the way we eat. Let's change the way we live. And let's change the way we treat each other. You see, the old way wasn't working, so it's on us to do what we gotta do to survive. And still I see no changes. Can a brother get a little peace? It's war on the streets and a war in the Middle East. Instead of war on poverty, they got a war on drugs so the police can bother me. And I ain't never did a crime I ain't have to do. But now back with the facts, giving it back to you. Don't let them jack you up, back you up, crack you up, and pimp smack you up. You gotta learn to hold your own. They get jealous when they see you with your mobile phone. But tell the cops I can't touch this. I don't trust this. When they try to rush, I bust this. That's the sound number 2. You say it ain't cool. My mama didn't raise no fool. And as long as I stay black, I got a stage strap. And I never get to lay back. Cause I always gotta worry about the payback. Some buck that I roughed up way back. Coming back after all these years. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat. That's the way it is.
That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. That's just the way it is. Oh yeah. You're my brother, you're my sister. That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same.
That's just the way it is. Like to
That's just the way it is.
I see you.
Oh yeah.
Now you're channeling me. You're channeling me.
No,
Yeah.
she's trying to confuse us with messaging. She's like,
Absolutely.
guys,
Tumetoka kwa love, sasa
tumetoka kwa
tunaendelea
love,
kwa-
so, you know.
This is Money Mondays. You're here with me, Ezekiel Olande, and our wonderful guest, Bina Maseno, who is the executive director of Badili Africa. And Bina, just to continue our conversation about Badili, I'd like to know what was the inspiration behind you starting this organization?
So I ran for political office when
Yeah.
I was 22 years. That is in 2013. So I was on the ballot. So already
At
guys know
20
my age
at
right now.
22.
Yeah. So
When I grew up. When I grew up.
so I was on the ballot,
Yeah.
and I think I was frustrated by how accountability and governance was being handled at the local level. So I
Yeah.
think I was just a tired citizen, really.
Yeah.
And also just tired of always protesting, you know, and tired of trying to engage leaders who don't show up, trying to push for accountability from leaders who are very, very keen on personal interest and public interest, you know. So I think I was just a tired, active citizen.
Yeah.
So I decided to run for political office. Which came at a very big cost,
Yeah.
because at the time I had just been supported and sponsored to join university, like sponsored with individuals and institution. You know, nowadays that name has lost its meaning in this era we are living in.
Yeah. We need to
You
clarify.
know,
No,
we need
this
to
is
clarify
sponsorship for education,
for
aka
education,
scholarship.
yes, and scholarship, right?
Yes.
You know, from well wishers, relatives, you know, and I lost that. You know. Because, you know, at 22 people perhaps think you're not serious, you know, and then it's not like we have a big representation of young people in office for people to even believe you can actually run for office and win. And then there's a lot of ageism, you know, there's a lot of sexism at that particular you know, time. So I ran for office, I don't like saying I lost. I like saying kura zikutosha. You know, I have to encourage myself. You have to encourage yourself.
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
kura
because that's
zikutosha.
how you so say you fail forward.
Yes, fail forward.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
fantastic.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
And after failing forward,
Yeah.
I realized that you don't actually have to be in politics to bring about change.
Exactly.
You know, and that there are so many other ways that you can cultivate change in your community, in your home, in your country, without necessarily occupying political office. Is it important to occupy political office? For sure.
Yes, it
You
is.
see, for sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Especially when you're talking about value-based leadership and value-based leaders,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I realize we all don't have to be politicians, you know. And that's how Badili Africa was born.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I realized, you know what, there's a gap in terms of tapping into the social networks in the community when it comes to having them as pressure groups to demand for accountability, because we work with Chama women.
Yes.
And many a times we don't stop to think that the reason I'm in a Chama sometimes is because I need to make ends meet.
Absolutely.
But then at the community level, why are you in 3 chamas? Why are you in 4 chamas? Why are you in 5 chamas? Why are you borrowing money from a chama to take to
the next
a
chama.
private hospital?
Oh, okay,
Why
okay.
isn't your public hospital working?
well.
Are we stopped? You know,
Yeah.
like, are we taking a pause to question why do I need to actually borrow money? Then I'm in arrears
Yes.
because my public hospital is not working. Why do I actually need to borrow money from a chama to take my child to a private school? Why isn't the public education and system working effectively, right? Yes, you have the numbers, right?
Yes, yes.
So we began having conversations at the chama level.
Okay.
Same thing at the university level. You know, trying to ensure that even students at that particular time, they understand the importance of meaningful engagement in political processes.
Good stuff.
Because the bulk of first-time voters are in universities
Yes,
and colleges
yes,
and
yes.
TVETs. Yeah.
Amazing. And from there then grew up this
Yes.
amazing organization. I've seen, let me just quickly run the numbers so that people can understand the level of impact that you have made. I had it here. So you have 13 plus global partners. Okay. In terms of Chama women that you have worked with or impacted, I'm seeing here it's 100,000 plus Chama women. You're in 5 countries and growing.
Counties.
Oh, counties.
Yes,
Yes. I missed
counties.
the yeah. And then 100,000 young women that you've worked with as well. And then for the Chama women, so I'm seeing the 2 breakdowns here. So there's the 100,000 Chama women, and then again there's another 20,000 Chama women.
So there's groups. You see
so
what I
there's-
mean?
Okay.
So there's groups
okay,
and there's the
now the individual
like the
members.
individuals. Like you see, if one chama has like 50 people, so
Yes.
there's like the chama groups,
which is one group,
and
then
there's
now
the
plus-
individuals within the chamas.
Good stuff. Good
Yes.
stuff. And in terms of the young people that you have, this is 1.5 million and
Yes.
growing.
And growing.
Good stuff.
Yes, thank
Good
you.
stuff. You
Thank
guys
you.
are doing amazing work. So
Thank you.
let's get into women in leadership, because this is now, you.
The core.
Yes,
of our
yes,
work.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So from your perspective, what are the significant barriers that women face when wanting to get into leadership, be it in politics, be it in the business space as well?
So they're mainly really when you talk about the challenges for women getting into leadership spaces, especially political leadership spaces, right? So number one is it's the structural barriers when it comes to effectively and meaningfully engaging within political parties, because we know the impact and influence of political parties in elections, right? And they are vehicles, literally, like vehicles for taking over power, like political power in this country. So there's the barriers when it comes to meaningful engagement. Infiltrating the political party leadership at the helm, where actually decisions are being made, especially for women,
So
and
getting
majority
a
also
seat at the
gatekeepers.
table.
Like the gatekeeping, even the gatekeeping within the political parties as well. Then there's gender-based violence. Especially for women when it comes to technologically facilitated violence, online,
Yes, the bullying.
today,
the
the cyberbullying, the trolling. You just announce you're running for office.
We have dug up every single piece of
the
that.
DCI, you know,
Yes.
like the online DCI.
Well, I've been told it's no longer Twitter, but
It's X DCI,
allow me to
right?
say, like X ata yaingia ni-
You
so
know
yes,
what I mean? Yeah.
KOT.
Yeah, so
Yes.
the trolling, and you can imagine even
Yeah.
for young people and
Yeah.
even for women, when you have limited resources, the very first place where you introduce your campaign, your candidature,
Is social
it's actually
media.
on social media.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that's the place where you get attacked the most,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
In fact, I remember in 2020, during COVID,
Yeah.
there was a report that was done, I think, by Plan, and it indicated how,
Yeah.
especially younger women, were quitting social media completely, like deleting their accounts
Wow.
because of trolling. So you can imagine even the impact of that.
Yeah.
At a time when we are using social media to study, to campaign,
Yeah.
you know, for your own businesses, you know,
Exactly.
but then
And
you are
even to
having
connect
someone,
to loved ones.
to
Yeah.
connect to, even, you know, and you're having someone actually quit social media.
Yeah.
Talk about unpaid care work in
Yeah.
this country, because women shoulder the bulk of unpaid care work,
True.
domestic work. So even when you think about, you know, business, when you think about your campaign,
Yeah.
data from KNBS says women spend 4 to 5 hours
Yeah.
on unpaid care work. 4 to 5 hours. It's
Wow.
time you could be putting into education, you could be putting into
Precisely.
your business, you could be putting
Precisely.
into your you know, your campaign.
Yeah.
And then of course resources as well, access to resources to campaign.
Yeah.
Election is very expensive. In fact, there was a study by Mzalendo
Yeah.
that showed that for you to run for the MCA seat,
Yeah.
you need a minimum of 5 million. Minimum.
Wow.
For MP and a woman rep, 20 million minimum.
Yes.
Like,
And keep going.
you know, 20 million.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
So with that alone,
Yes.
and with I remember when IBC was talking about capping how much politicians
campaign
spend, you know,
financing.
you know, like
Yes.
campaign
Yeah.
finances.
Mm.
You can imagine for the presidency,
Yeah.
they capped it at 4 billion, 4B.
Good grief.
So it just shows you how much we need. I was like, how are you capping
How
it at
you-
4 billion? You know what I mean?
That should have been for all of them, and that's still a lot of money.
And you can imagine,
Yeah.
like the recommendations, of course, the Finance Act didn't pass, right?
Yeah.
But even capping it at 4 billion,
Yeah.
you know, like you should not spend more than 4 billion.
Yes.
Tells you how expensive election is.
Yeah.
And we talk about 4 billion and even how much like a president earns
Yes.
in a year.
Yes.
You multiply it by 5 years.
Yes.
You're not even at 1 billion.
You are not.
You know, you're not
anywhere
at
close
1
to that.
billion.
Yeah.
But you're being told you should not spend more than 4 billion.
Yes.
So also access to resources as well, and of course mentorship and hand holding also
Yeah.
from like seasoned politicians who've occupied office before,
Yeah.
because it's just not about running for office, it's also about occupying that office effectively.
Yeah.
Because majority of us prepare to run for office,
Yeah.
but then we don't prepare to lead once you occupy office.
Yeah. Like now I'm here.
You know, now I'm here.
And then what happens?
And then what?
You after
see,
inauguration?
So you put in so much work to run for
on the
office,
campaign.
but then after you win, like how prepared are you to lead?
Yeah.
Then what?
Yeah.
Because that is when the work begins. It's just like even us as voters.
Yes.
It's just not about casting a vote. But actually, your work as an active citizen begins once leaders have occupied office.
Yes.
That is when your work as an active citizen begins. But then, do you know how to occupy your office as an active citizen effectively? Yeah.
I like that challenge that you're bringing to the voters, because we believe mostly that nimepiga kura, sasa wacha waende wafanye kazi zao. And then you get to a place where things are not working the way you expect, but we have not really delved deep to find out what is my role as a voter. Yes, I voted, that is my civic duty, but how am I holding these people accountable?
Yes.
Good. I like that point. But let me bring you back to mentorship.
Yes.
Because you've talked about that being a barrier. So how was it for you when you're running? Did you have people holding your hands, and did you have people who were literally showing you this is the path to follow?
So at the time, not really political mentors. I didn't have political mentors at the time. I think I just had seasoned leaders in other spheres, you see, and not just in political leadership.
Okay.
You know, you're young, it's your first time.
Yeah.
Even your social network is just your friends in campus. So
Absolutely.
when you tell them you need money for campaign, they're looking at you like,
Kwanza 5 million.
nipatie allowance yangu, like I'm not working, like where am I supposed to even get this resource to like you know, contribute to your campaign money, you know? So it was leaders in other spheres, but then just looking looking back and where we are at right now, I think it would have really helped if I had a political mentor at the time, because I look at the decisions and the choices and how I chose to run my campaign. I think a seasoned politician would have helped me enrich my campaign.
Absolutely.
You know, how I show up when I'm campaigning. Also, how I handle difficulties and challenges, especially political violence. You know, when you face violence, or when violence is used to intimidate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
When online bullying is used to intimidate you, you know, so you don't even know. So you just log out or you delete your accounts, yet you're campaigning. People don't even know that you're running for office. So I think that would have helped. And it's what we're trying to achieve even with the work that we are doing with young women in campus leadership. To have that intergenerational mentorship, because we also see how majority of the student leaders transition to national politics, right?
Exactly.
And that happens more so for young men than actually young women. And we've been very intentional to try and ensure that there's a hand holding and intergenerational knowledge sharing and intergenerational mentorship between seasoned female politicians and young women in leadership in campus, right? So that at least at the end of the day, they don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Exactly.
Navigating the challenges in leadership becomes a little bit easier because someone has worn the shoe or occupied that particular seat before and can guide you.
To guide you.
Yeah.
Amazing. If you're just tuning in, umechelewa kidogo, but
yes,
thank you for joining us. This is Money Mondays with myself, Ezekiel Olande, and Bina, Maseno. We're just talking about women in politics, governance, leadership, and we just want to continue delving deeper into this. When we come back, we're going to get into challenges and opportunities for women in politics. But for now, let's listen to some music.
To the folk, Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the door, ready to make an entrance, so back on up, cause you know we're about to rip it up. Give me the microphone first so I can bust like a bubble. Compton and Long Beach together, now you know you in trouble. Ain't nothing but a G thing, baby. Too low depth, so it crazy. Death Row is the label that pays me. Unfadable, so please don't try to fake it. But back to the lecture at hand. Perfection is perfected, so I'ma let them understand from a young G's perspective. And before me dig on a bitch, I have to find a contraceptive. You never know, she could be earning her man and learning her man, and at the same time burning her man. Now you know I ain't with that lieutenant. Ain't no good enough to get burned while I'm offended. And that's realer than real deal, holy feel. And now you know how I feel. Well, if it's good enough to get broke off a proper chunk, I take a small piece of some of that funky stuff. It's like this and like that and like this and it's like that and like this and like that and it's like this and like that and like this and Drake creep to the mic like a fan.
Well, I'm peeping and I'm creeping and I'm creeping, but I got caught cause my beeper kept beeping. Now it's time for me to make my impression felt. So sit back, relax, and strap on your seatbelt. You've never been on a ride like this before, with a producer who can rap and control the maestro. At the same time with the dope rhyme that I kick, you know and I know I flow some more funky. To add to my collection, this selection symbolizes dope. Take a toke but don't choke. If you do, you have no clue of what me and my homie Snoop Dogg came to do. It's like this and like that and like this and it's like that and like this and like that and it's like this. And who gives a f about those?
So just chill to the next episode. On that, what a hellified gangster lean. Getting funky on the mic like an old batch of collard greens. It's the capital S-O, yes, I'm fresh and double O-P. D-O-double-G-Y-D-O-double-G, you see. Showing much flex when it's time to wreck a mic. Pimping and clocking a grip like my name was Dolomite. Yeah, and it don't quit. I think they in the mood for some. So Dre,
what up, dog?
Gotta give them what they want.
What's that, G?
We gotta break them off something. Yeah, and it's gotta be bumpin'. City of Compton,
it's where it takes place, so when that show attention. Mobbing like a but I ain't lynching. Dropping the funky that's making a sucker niggas mumble. When I'm on the mic, it's like a cookie, they all crumble. Try to get close and you get smacked. My and homie Doggy Dog has got my back. Never let me slip, cause if I slip, then I'm slipping. But if I got my Nina, then you know I'm straight tripping. And I'ma continue to put the rap down, put the Mac down. And if your talk, I have to put the smack down, yeah, and you don't stop. I told you I'm just like a clock when I tick and I talk. But I'm never off, always on till the break of dawn. See you when PTO win in the city they call Long Beach. Putting the together like my DOC. No one can do it better like this, that, and this, and it's like that, and like this, and like that, and it's like this. Then who gives a about those?
So just chill to the next episode.
Allow me to lace these lyrical douches in your bushes. Who rock grooves and make moves with all the mommies. The back of the club, sipping my wet is where you find me. The back of the club, macking for my crew's behind me. Mad question asking, nothing passing, music lasting. But I just can't quit because one of these honeys Biggie got to creep with, sleep with, keep the ep a secret. Why not? Why blow up my spot? Cause we both got hot. Now check it. I got more Mac than Craig and in the bed. Believe me, sweetie, I got enough to feed the needy. No need to be greedy. I got mad friends with Benzes. See notes by the layers. Truly tough players. Jump in the Rover and come over. Tell your friends jump in the GF3. I got the out by the tree. Throw your hands in the air if you's a true player. To the honeys getting money, playing to get like dummies. You got a gun up in your waist, please don't shoot up the place. Cause I see some ladies tonight that should be having my baby. Straight up, honey, really, I'm asking. Most of these niggas think they be macking, but they be acting. Who they attracting with that line? What's your name? What's your sign? Soon as he buy that wine, I just creep up from behind and ask you what your interests are. Who you be with? Things to make you smile. What numbers to dial? You gon' be here for a while. I'm gon' call my crew. You gon' call your crew. We can rendezvous at the bar around 2. Plans to leave. Throw the keys to little C's. Pull the truck up front and roll up the next booth so we can steam on the way to the telly. Gon' fill my belly. A T-bone steak, cheese, eggs, and Welch's grape. Conversate for a few. Cause in a few we gon' do what we came to do. Ain't that right, boo? Forget the telly. We just go to the crib and watch a movie in the jacuzzi. Boy, while you do me. Throw your hands in the air if you's a true player. To the honeys getting money, playing like dummies. You got a gun up in your waist, please don't shoot up the place. Cause I see some ladies tonight that should be having my baby.
How you living, Biggie Small?
In mansion and Benzes, giving ends to my friends, and it feels stupendous. Tremendous cream, off the dollar and a dream. Still tote gas strapped with infrared beams. Chopping off, smoking line optimals. Money's walking clothes, all of the knows. A foolish pleasure, whatever. I had to find the buried treasure. So grams I had to measure. However, living better now. Coochie sweater now. Drop top BMs, I'm the man, girlfriend.
Honey, check it. Tell your friends to get with my friends. We could be friends. We could do this every weekend. That's right. Alright? Is that alright with you? Yeah. Keep banging.
Throw your hands in the air if you's a true player. To the honeys getting money, players looking like dummies. You got a gun up in your waist, please don't shoot up the place. Cause I see some ladies tonight that should be having my baby. Check it out. Now for this, for that. Puff Daddy, Biggie Smalls, Junior Mafia, represent, baby.
Welcome back to Money Mondays with me, Ezekiel Olande. You're on Icon Radio. Find us on X, IG, LinkedIn, Facebook, and on WhatsApp. Please, if you have any questions for Bina, please feel free to shoot them up on WhatsApp, and we'll be able to put those questions to her, and she'll be able to tell us what she thinks. Bina, so you work, Badili Africa works in informal settlements, and I wanted to know what are some of the specific challenges for women in women political mobilizers in this space. What do you encounter, and how can Badili Africa help in this space?
So first of all is to look at who's a political mobilizer, right? The people doing the behind the scenes work of getting political leaders elected. The people who do the behind the scenes work of looking for votes, canvassing, doing door to door, just campaigning on your behalf.
So here in Kenya, we have the door to door. I see it a lot in the States.
Yes.
Well, I read about it. We have that here.
A lot. I mean, a lot of door to door. Yeah, ukitafuta kitu utaelewa tu. Utakuwa kwa soko, you're either on top of a truck talking to people. You're doing door to door, you're going to all the barrios in your area because you know, like that is
it's a platform.
It's a platform for you know. And it's actually sad that while someone else is actually mourning someone, another person is seeing it as a platform,
exactly.
But so the people who do the behind the scenes work of getting our leaders elected as relates to campaigning are what we are referring to as political mobilizers. So we did a case study with political mobilizers in Nairobi, in the informal settlement in Nairobi. Mukuru, Kawangware, Kangemi, Kayole, Madare, So we did the case study, and we're looking at the experiences of women political mobilizers in elections. And there are a couple of gaps, right? And a couple of challenges that we were able to see. Number one, it's the violence against women political mobilizers that is underreported and undocumented many a times, right? So at the end of the day, the fact that some of them were saying, you see, for us, even as we enter this job, we know we are collateral damage to political figures. We know we are collateral damage to politicians. Because even if you die today, even the political party you are campaigning for, many a times will never even make a statement.
The show must go on.
That we actually, like the political show must go on. They'll get another mobilizer, they'll get another campaigner, and it's even hard to track how many political mobilizers die in election for leaders to actually occupy political office. And then also the nature of the violence they go through, like we had a case for one of the women who moved from one party to the other, and the supporters of party X felt betrayed. It's like if you're in Kisumu and you decide I'm going to campaign for UDA, or you're in Rift Valley and you decide I'm going to campaign for ODM. So just the party supporters feel like you're the one who's the mole, you're the one who's betraying us. Exactly, And one time she's mobilizing because this particular candidate is coming to the community, and she's mobilizing, and the party supporters of the other party she left decide they're going to teach her a lesson, and they carry a razor blade, you see. Because even when you talk about political weapons that people carry in campaigns, you're thinking about a stone, you're thinking about a knife, a panga, something that is very visible. How are you going to detect a razor blade that someone has, even if they have it in their hand or in their wallet, And she missed it when someone tried to disfigure her face, and it cut someone else. You see, it like it cut someone else on the back, But then she was like, most of us don't even have insurance.
Yes.
We're just in the community. It's like in mainstream employment.
Exactly.
So you don't even have like a healthcare cover. That covers you even against like harassment or violence in elections. Exactly. They don't even have an HIF. Majority of them are the community. And that was like a very big challenge for most of them, given that it's always visible who you're supporting and who you're campaigning for, because you have to do door-to-door every day. So people know who you're supporting and who you're campaigning for. And then also even the question of unpaid care work that I said, where are you leaving your children when you're going to campaign, you see. And also we had a couple of them that spoke to their marriages breaking up because someone is like, how are you literally abandoning us because of this man you're campaigning for? You see what I mean? Because at 6 you've left, probably coming back at 11. Your kids don't even see you, so they just drop you home. In the morning you begin the job again, over and over again, and also the fact that their visibility within political party structure is very limited. So even when you're going through these challenges, there's no one to report to, because then majority of them are not infiltrating the leadership within the political parties. You see, they're just seen as mobilizers, just mobilize for us to increase our membership. They're like foot soldiers. They literally are foot soldiers even for political parties. But then they are not mainstreamed within the political party structures. So even when we talk about them reporting most of these challenges, because they are not mainstreamed within the political parties,
there's
it's
no
a
structure
challenge
that would allow them to get any sort of a recourse.
Exactly. So they the redress mechanisms, the recourse mechanisms, you see, are lacking even within the political parties that they campaign for and that they support. And then I think sadly also is the fact that majority of them have been campaigning for years. Like some of them had been campaigning for like 15 years that we spoke to. But the fact that they're not able to run for office themselves, to believe enough in themselves to run for political office,
because they have this social capital
because
that they're able to bring to the table, right?
You see, you have this social capital, you have these social networks, just deciding, I'm not going to be mobilizing for 10 more years again. I'm actually going to either mobilize for one of us to occupy office, or I'm going to run for office myself. Because if you look at the number of women who run for office in this country, it's very, very low. In the just this previous election in 2022, we had 16,100 candidates on the ballot. That is from the presidency to the MCA. So if you ran for any elective office, in whichever party, whether you are in ODM, you are, whichever party, and you have over 89 parties, political parties in this country. So whichever party, you are an independent candidate, we had 16,100 candidates. But if you look at that, and if you break that number further, we only had 1,962 women on the ballot.
Out of 16,000.
Out of 16,000. Wow. So we had 14,000 men on the ballot. And about 2,000 women on the ballot. So it means there's even no way we would have achieved the 2/3 gender rule that we discussed. There's no way, because
exactly.
I mean, you don't even have that 2/3 number running for office.
Exactly.
Enough for them to be elected, enough for us to say, you know what, we're going to achieve the 2/3 gender rule that we parity that we discuss when it comes to leadership. So for us, even at Badili, it's a concern that we have very fierce political mobilizers, grassroots women who have the potential of actually running for office and winning, but also not considering that as an option. And so just for us to look at the barriers that prevent them from actually thinking and considering running for office. And then I think also another gap that we saw is understanding the mandate of the candidate you're mobilizing for. Because you tell someone, hey, but why are you mobilizing for this senator? They tell you, he's promised me 4 bursaries for my child. I'm like, okay. But then how is how is that the 4 bursaries? Like, is that within their mandate?
How is he going to actualize it?
Like, how is he going to actualize it, really?
Because there's CDF.
Exactly.
That sits in the National Assembly. So Senator Tapsediaje.
Exactly. So also understanding the mandate of the different elective offices. So even when you're mobilizing, or someone tells you come and mobilize for me, you're able to have like a better conversation. So for us, I think also we're also very keen on raising the dialogue. The quality of the conversation between the mobilizers and the political leaders. leaders, so that at least at the end of the day, you're not manipulated into campaigning for someone, and then they occupy an office, and they're not even able to fulfill half the promises they made. Because it's easier not to put someone in office than to actually remove them from office. And I mean, you've seen it in the finance bill that we are discussing currently. So some of the gaps, and also some of the opportunities that we see, and I think for us, we are looking at harnessing the collective power, the skills and knowledge of grassroots women mobilizers to conduct effective civic education. You know, we're looking at redefining and spotlighting gender-based violence in elections in ways that we can demand, or in ways that we can seek better protection from election stakeholders for marginalized group of people who are not seen, you know, and their role is not visible to election stakeholders in a way that they would be mainstreamed within the election processes. We're looking at, of course, strengthening the network we've begun for women political mobilizers currently.
Wow. This is rich, and I'm really enjoying the level of impact that you're having, just bringing this, and this is segueing into our next question, because I believe that these mobilizers are the ones you're calling kingmakers, right? And the challenges that they're facing, and just, I think for me, one of the things that would really how do I put it, like, it would be of impact to me, is if they actually go to the place where they realize, like you're saying, hey, I can actually do this for myself, or we collectively can actually, because they know the people, they know the parties, they know how to get people elected, and I am sure they would know, because they have feelers in the ground. They'll know the needs and the challenges of the people, and when they get there, they actually make better leaders than some of the people we put there. Tell us about so you recently had a very wonderful launch over the weekend, and it was called Women Kingmakers. So tell us first, why Women Kingmakers, and then your inspiration for that.
So first of all, the idea for me emerged from my personal experiences running for political office, and also seeing the power of social networks and how politicians actually enter the community through these women groups, through this nyumba kumi, through the conversations and the meetings the chiefs have, and just seeing and mapping out who are the key players in the community, who are the community influencers, and seeing how they tilt the scales on who ends up becoming the next member of county assembly, the next member of parliament,
MP, senator,
governor. So that is where it came from. And also looking at the fact that many a times when we talk about political participation and meaningful political participation, we emphasize it more for politicians and voters. But then there's a missing link, because there are mobilizers, political mobilizers, there are power brokers, and the influence who even gets the party tickets at the end of the day. Because you see, when someone is on the ballot, they're already 50% in. You see, like, literally, they're 50% in once they are on the ballot. And in fact, if you're in the right party that is popular in the area that you're campaigning in, you know. So realizing and looking at these dynamics, because I've also really supported my friends in their elections with their campaigning, just being on the ground, also just sitting in different strategic meetings and think tanks.
So you are a kingmaker,
maybe, just sitting in their strategy meeting, think tanks, and thinking about who do we need in this community, who's being listened to in this community, and realizing, when you even talk about effective civic education, that is not the person you're calling to your meeting. You're just calling the young people only, because they're going to be the first time voters. But then you're forgetting that there's someone who does door to door. There's someone who many other people in the community look up to, and they say, this is the person, right? So looking at that,
Yeah.
so that led us to do a research
Yeah.
on their experiences. Like, how did you become a political mobilizer? Why did you even become a political mobilizer? How long have you been mobilizing? Have
Yeah.
you made any leader?
Yeah.
How have you contributed to the success of leader X?
Yeah.
For how long have you been doing this? What is in it for you?
Yeah.
You see what I mean? What
Yeah.
is in it for you, really? Why do you do this? What
Yeah.
is your incentive? What interest do you have? Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you have to realize in the political spectrum,
Yeah.
and the arena, everyone also has their own individual interests,
Everyone has
right?
interests. Yeah.
But also looking at the challenges that they also go through
Yeah.
while they are doing that particular job. Also, why are they not valued? Because if you
Yeah.
see how male mobilizers are valued, I mean, if you see even in the political space,
Yes.
the
Yes.
people who would bring this country at a standstill, it's because they're seen as mobilizers who
Yes.
can just tell the masses,
Yes.
Kesho,
Yes.
we're protesting.
Here.
You see
Yes.
what I mean?
Exactly.
But ideally, like what they do is, it's like they have seeds.
Yes.
It's like they have seeds
Yeah.
that they,
They spread.
Yeah, that
they're
they
planting.
spread.
Yeah.
And then the people at the community just take those seeds and plant them. You see what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
the people who can actually bring this country at a standstill will never do door to door.
You
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But people will do that on their behalf.
Exactly.
But then if you look at how they are valued at that level, but then the people who do the everyday job
Yeah.
are not seen,
Mm.
are not valued
Yeah.
for the role that they play, and are not brought to the table as
Yeah.
equal or as stakeholders who can contribute to the development plans of even our community.
Yeah.
Because even for the women we work with,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they'll put yes a king there, or they'll put an MCA there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But once the leaders occupy office,
Yes.
they don't see them as key stakeholders who
Exactly.
need to be engaged and involved
Yeah.
when they're discussing local development plans.
Yeah.
And that is why we've moved into having the women and the spaces we occupy, ensuring that they are pressure groups for
Yeah.
demanding accountability
Absolutely.
in local
Yeah.
levels and national processes too.
Good stuff. I just want to put you just on pause a bit. Let's get a bit of music and then we come back. You're still on Money Mondays with me, Ezekiel Olande, and Bina Maseno. We are talking about Kingmakers, and not just Kingmakers, women Kingmakers. And Bina, when we come back, you'll just tell us about the event that you had and how it went, and how we can also plug in to the projects that you're doing at Badili Africa.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Hey yo, this is Sylvy, the GRS, and right now you're tuned in to Icon Radio, your #1 entertainment plug. Keep it locked, blaze it fire, blaze it, blaze it.
Scene unfolds, young girls, 13 years old, expose themselves to any tongue they can hate. Got more stretch marks than these hoes, hollering they got rank. See Sega ain't in this new world order. Them experimenting in Atlanta, Georgia, United Nations overseas. Train assassins, do search and seize. Ain't knocking or asking, they're coming for like me. Pull white trash like they, tricks like her. Back in slavery, concentration camps, slaves with gas pipelines. Infernos outdoors like they had back with Adolf Hitler was living in 1945. Listen to me now, believe me later on in the future. Look at where it said in the Constitution that in the event of a war, places like Operation Heartbreak Hotel, moments tell until that tight vent seal off this spell. Them say expect no mercy. Fool, you should be my least worries. Gotta deal with W2-1099s on mark black helicopters swoop down and try to put missiles in mines. Who's that peeking in my window? Nobody now. Who's that peeking in my window? Nobody now.
Me and my family moved in our apartment complex. A gate with the serial code was put up next. They claim that this community is so drug free, but it don't look that way to me. Cause I can see the young bloods hanging out at the store. 24/7 junkies looking for a hit of the blow. It's powerful. Oh, you know what else they trying to do? Make a curfew, especially for me and you. The traces of the new world order. Time is getting shorter. If we don't get prepared, people, it's gonna be a slaughter. My mind won't allow me to not be curious. My folk don't understand, so they don't take it serious. But every now and then, I wonder if the gate was put up to keep crime out or keep eye.
Who's that peeking in my window? Nobody now. Who's that peeking in my window? Nobody now.
Listen up, little nigga. I'm talking to you about what your little ass need to be going through. I fall a victim too, and I know I shouldn't smoke so much, but I do. With the crew every day on the average about 4 or 5. I'm lucky to be alive at sunrise. I won't realize the cost after I lost my best friend Bina. I recognize as a king. Who am I to tell you to stop smoking? Now you open to disease and cold, and ain't 16 years old. This has got to stop. Let's take a walk through the top. I won't out of this hole. I'm in the cell under attack. Look up, folks, stay in the hood. Got an eye on every move I make. Open your face to info. You ain't know, cause it's come low. Ha, the new world plan. Reach the planet without the
So what's your aim? Trying to separate me from the blood is disrespect, like coming in my home and not wiping your feet on the rug. The citronat salute has got me bucking, no hand with no phone. Look out for the man with the mask and the white pony on my back of bills, staying off my toes, always on my heels, the same plane. Soldiers coming in the dark by plane to enforce the new system by rain. Tag my skin with your computer chip. Run your hand over the scanner to buy your dish now. No more fishing for your fish. Shift the days of the old days, past ways gone, mind blown perception. My name on your selection, but I come. Pow. Who's that peeking in my window? Pow. Nobody now. Who's that peeking in my window? Pow. Nobody now. Who's that peeking in my window? Pow. Nobody now. Who's that peeking in my window? Pow. Nobody now. Say up there, think about it.
Welcome back to Money and Bina Maseno. We've had such a great time. Just talk about women in leadership and more so kingmakers.
Yes.
Women kingmakers.
Yes.
So Bina, you told me you had an event on Saturday.
On Friday.
On Friday. That was
September
on the
20th.
20th.
Yes.
Tell me about it, and then you can give us your parting shots.
So on September 20th,
Yeah.
finally, our docufilm based on the case studies we did on women political mobilizers was able to premiere at
Good
Westgate
stuff.
Cinema.
Good
You
stuff.
know,
Congratulations.
and I'm still living through that moment on
Yeah,
Friday. Like I have
yeah,
not
yeah.
crossed over to this week. For me, I'm still on Friday. You know.
Yeah.
And it was just fantastic to to fill up screen one,
Yeah.
which has the capacity of 165, and before like 5:30, there were even no places for guys to sit.
Oh wow!
Like it's a cinema, but you have to bring seats in. But
That's
I'm
a
also
very good problem.
You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
just having people stand, I was just like, oh my god, we brought in seats until there was nowhere to put seats. Like guys were sitting on the on the staircases. But then also to see the caliber of the people and the individuals who showed up, just everyone, who's very keen and interested with matters governance in this nation. You know what I mean? With civic education, with eradicating gender-based violence, with pushing and enhancing our democracy. Like they all showed up. From leaders in CSO, from community leaders, grassroots women leaders, donors who invest on governance work. The political class, just having women reps, member of parliament, MCAs come and just soak in the message, but then also just reflect on that message afterwards, and and think through in what ways have we not mainstreamed political mobilizers within our political parties. In what ways have I not been very keen on protection even for my mobilizers when I'm campaigning. In what ways do I work with them? What are some of the conversations I have with my mobilizers when they're mobilizing for me? So I think just for me, the reflections, the power dynamics, even them not being valued for the role that they play, yet it's very, very critical, and which leads to the leaders who occupy office. So I think for me, people watching the film and reflecting on it, and then all the requests we are having right now, is it on YouTube? Is it on YouTube? Everyone wants to know if it's on YouTube. It's not going to be on YouTube anytime soon.
So where do we watch
for now until we finish the screenings? Please come to the community screenings now. So we're going to have grassroots screenings across the country. And hopefully next year, we're also going to have screenings across the continent as well. So at the right time, it's going to be on YouTube. But I think for now, we're just very keen on having very rich conversations when we are screening it, so that we can hear what are your thoughts. How can we better our democracy? Who are we leaving behind? Because the central framework of the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, is leave no one behind.
Absolutely.
So who are we leaving behind when we talk about governance and politics in this country? So it's so exciting. And I think I'm just grateful for the team, the Badili Africa team, the producers, the creative team behind it, Kizito, Gina, Loop Films, Tabitha, all the cast, the Badili Africa team that also didn't sleep, just to try and see that this day is actually a success, and that is also going to be keen on how we operationalize the whole thing in terms of the project we're looking at, because the film is just for advocacy purposes, to complement the workshops and the trainings we're going to have. Akina Mama wa Africa, I'm so glad that we had Chimwemwe, who leads the women in leadership and politics, come through to the premiere. I'm so happy that Winigor just showed up with a team like Yani, those ones. They were just like, by the way, guys, I'm so glad that they were able to show up. I feel like Yani giving a shout out to so many other people. I'm so glad Wawana events, make sure the deco looks good,
So yeah,
I know.
With
There's so many guys to celebrate.
And we do. We celebrate the successful launch.
Yes.
Parting shots. As what is your call to action to those who've been listening to this conversation? How do I get involved? What do I do as a woman in leadership, or as a mobilizer as well? What do I do?
So number one, we are looking at effective political education going forward. And effective political education for community influencers. Starting with the counties we're already working in, the 5 counties. that we're already working in, but more importantly
Yeah.
is collaboration with stakeholders who are already in the governance space, because we can't do this work alone.
Yeah.
There's only so far or so much you can achieve if you actually move alone.
Yeah.
We are also looking at curbing gender-based violence,
Yeah.
especially in election, as a very, very key deterrent
Yeah.
to how women show up in political spaces,
Okay.
whether as a campaigner, whether as a candidate, whether as a mobilizer, just how they show up in the public spaces.
Final point.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Oh,
done.
for my final point. No, my final point
Yeah.
would be, it's just important for us to occupy our offices as active citizens.
Absolutely.
Just occupy your office in whichever way.
Yeah.
This work is not a preserve of people in CSO or
Yeah.
activists. All of us can play our own role in enhancing and shaping our democracy in ways that it will help us to achieve our aspirations as citizens of this nation.
Asante. Occupy your offices as a active citizen in this country. I think that's a very good place to stop at. 0788380030. If you still want to reach us on WhatsApp, please go ahead. Allow me just to read a couple of comments that came through during the show. Linda B, we feel the love. She's saying she's loving today's theme, and she's actually agreeing with you that we are indeed kingmakers. It's about time the world realized and understood the power that we have. And hapa ameuliza swali about your styling. Sasa hiyo Linda, you will see her offline, and she will tell you who did her styling. Thank you so much for taking time to join us. Thank you
so much for having me.
Karibu sana. We look forward to having you back again. And congratulations to the launch that you had for the Women Kingmakers and the good work that Badili Africa is doing. This has been Money Mondays with me, Ezekiel Olande, and the wonderful Bina Maseno.
Thank you.
We've had a great time conversating, and we are hoping that we'll be able to have her again. But for now, our time is far gone. See you again next week on Monday.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for having me.
Karibu, and good night.
Good night.
Tennessee,
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 Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Lord, I've really been real stressed, down and out, losing guts. Although I am black and brown, problems got me pessimistic. Brothers and sisters keep messing up. Why does it have to be so damn tough? I don't know where I can go to let these ghosts out of my skull. My grandma passed, my brother's gone. I never at once felt so alone. I know you're supposed to be my steering wheel, not just my spare tire. But Lord, I ask you to be my guiding force and truth. For some strange reason it had to be. He guided me to Tennessee. Take me to another place. Take me to another land. Make me forget all that hurts me. Let me understand your plan. Take me to another place. Take me to another land. Make me forget all that hurts me. Let me understand your plan. Lord, it's obvious we got a relationship, talking to each other every night and day. Although you're superior over me, we talk to each other in a friendship way. Then out of nowhere, you tell me to break out of the country and into more countries, past Osborne, into Ripley, where the ghost of childhood haunts me. Walk the roads my forefathers walked, climb the trees my forefathers hung from. Ask those trees for all their wisdom. They tell me my ears are so young. Go back to whence you came, my family tree, my family name. For some strange reason it had to be. He guided me to Tennessee. Take me to another place. Take me to another land. Make me forget all that hurts me. Let me understand your plan.
She went down to Holly Springs. Razadon and Baba, they went down to Peachtree. Headliner, I challenge you to a game of horseshoes. A game of horseshoes.
Now I see the importance of history. Why my people be in the mess that they be. Many journeys to freedom made in vain by brothers on the corner playing ghetto games. I ask you, Lord, why you enlighten me without the enlightenment of all my folks. Instead, cause I set myself on a quest for truth, and he was there to quench my thirst. But I am still thirsty. Lord, allow me to drink some more. He said what I am searching for are the answers to all which are in front of me. The ultimate truth started to get blurry. For some strange reason it had to be. It was all a dream about Tennessee. Take me to another place. Take me to another land. Make me forget all that hurts me. Let me understand your plan.
Oh, won't you let me? Won't you help me? Won't you help me understand your Take me home, take me home, home. Take me to another place. Take me
Tennessee. Yeah. Tennessee.
To Tennessee.
Hocus pocus, chokers ride, come take a spin.